Hello everybody and welcome to a really special video. This is my first ever NFL mock draft video as a YouTuber. It's an exciting draft and we'll start out with pick number 1. The Cincinnati Bengals sit on the clock, and I don't think there's any question in literally anyone's mind who's making a mock draft that Joe Burrow is going to be going there out of LSU. He has been the best quarterback in college football all year, and I think the Cincinnati Bengals will make the attempt to try and turn their franchise around, bringing in a hometown kid like Joe Burrow. The Redskins sit on with pick number 2, and I think this is another obvious one. Defensive end, Chase Young. Undoubtedly the best defensive player in the country this year out of Ohio State. Maybe the best player, period, in the country. And I think the Washington Redskins are going to be very happy to be able to bring in an impact player like him. With the third pick, I have the Detroit Lions, disappointed to lose out on the Chase Young sweepstakes, but I think they'll be happy to take a different Ohio State defender in Jeffrey Okudah, the corner out of Ohio State. He is a very nice complement to a man like Darius Slay. Word is maybe even the Lions could be looking to get rid of Slay, but whether they do or they don't, Okudah would be a very good person to slot into that defense, and I think that the Lions will look to bring him in. With the fourth pick, the Giants could go in many different directions. They really could go anywhere on the defensive side of the ball. They really should go offensive line, but I do feel like they will bring in defensive end A.J. Epinesa here out of Iowa. I think that he is a really nice edge rusher that they could really use. And if you don't remember, the Giants won 2 Super Bowls off of edge rushing, so I think that this would be a very good direction for them to go instead of signing these aging stars at edge rusher. So the Dolphins sit at number 5, and another super obvious pick here. They've coveted him for years. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa will be a Miami Dolphin. He did declare earlier today, actually, out of Alabama as I am recording this, and he will 100% be a member of the Miami Dolphins.
Tua, the 5-star, most gifted high school passer Trent Dilfer's ever seen.
This guy's special, he's different. Touchdown! Aloha! Ross for the score! He's everything he's cracked up to be.
Number 6, the LA Chargers are sitting there, and, Phillip Rivers not under contract. I really think that they go for their quarterback of the future here in Justin Herbert. They don't waste any time taking the Oregon quarterback off the board here. He's a guy that if you can coach him up well, he can definitely get better and provide some really exciting throws. I do expect the Chargers to select their future franchise quarterback. At number 7, the Panthers. I think this is a very commonly mocked pick in these early mock drafts, and I really think that the Panthers will go defensive tackle Derek Brown out of Auburn. Guy is an absolute truck, an absolute monster, and I think he will fit very well in the middle of that Carolina Panther defensive line. At number 8, the Cardinals. I mean, they're a team that could really go anywhere here, and they do have offensive line issues, but I think that with a quarterback like Kyler Murray, he can pretty much make those runs and throws outside the pocket kind of in the vein of Russell Wilson, and you don't have to build the offensive line right away with a team like that. I think they look to get him a weapon, especially if Larry Fitzgerald is done playing football. I think they look to go Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama here and get him a bona fide wide receiver that could be with the team for the next 8 to 10 years. Then at number 9, it is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, they traded away Jalen Ramsey to pick up an extra first-round pick. I think they go right for replacing him here in picking up Kristian Fulton out of LSU. A very nice corner who can definitely replace Jalen Ramsey, hopefully become that next lockdown corner for the Jacksonville Jaguars. At pick 10, the Browns are on the clock, and they really miss Joe Thomas, so I think they go with another offensive tackle with the last name of Thomas and Andrew Thomas out of Georgia to open up some holes for Nick Chubb and the running game, and of course protect Baker Mayfield, who definitely needs it after this season. At number 11, the Jets, also looking to protect a franchise quarterback. I think they go offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. I think that's a very important pick for them. I think they are really glad that he falls, and I think they're going to be happy to select him come draft day. Next is the Oakland Raiders with pick number 12. I believe they go linebacker safety here, Isaiah Simmons, position out of Clemson, just really a versatile player, and I feel like another really good athlete that John Gruden can stick on his defense to go along with guys like Jonathan Abram to really make this defense a youthful, powerful defense moving forward. Next is the Indianapolis Colts at 13, and I feel like defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina would be a great player for them. I feel like that would help build their young defense and continue it with guys like Darius Leonard. And if they bring in Kinlaw, man, that just adds another monster on that defense. I feel like they could really be building something special there. At 14, the Buccaneers come up, and with Jameis Winston not really, of course, looking like the guy there, I feel like they will take the third quarterback off the board and take a flyer on a guy like Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could be very interesting. They get a guy that can move around a little bit more, doesn't have to face a ton of pressure, hopefully, with his legs. And he's got Mike Evans, he's got OJ the Juice Man Howard, he's got Chris Godwin. It's not like he doesn't have weapons, so he's not losing weapons that he had in Oklahoma. He's gaining weapons coming into the NFL, so hopefully if somebody can reel in his talents in the coaching department, this can be a special player for them. Next is the Denver Broncos, and I feel like they're going to try to get Drew Lock a second option to Courtland Sutton and a better option than Deshaun Hamilton. Not that Deshaun Hamilton is bad, but I feel like if you had Sutton, Hamilton, and CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma on that Denver offense with Drew Lock, I feel like their offense is really going to take a step forward, and the defense is already pretty good, albeit a little bit aging, but I feel like that is definitely the way to build for the Denver Broncos. Will they do that? I don't know, but it would be a very interesting decision. Next at 16, it's the Atlanta Falcons. I feel like they're going to go edge rusher here. I feel like they need to go edge rusher, and I'm going to slot them with Yetur Gross-Matos out of Penn State, one of the highly touted defensive prospects from Penn State in a few years now, and I feel like he is probably somebody that the Patriots might covet. But I feel like if the Falcons really want an edge rusher, I think this is the man to go with. Next up, it's the Dallas Cowboys. There's no question they were trying to trade for Jamal Adams, and I feel like they finally get the safety they were looking for here at pick 17 with Grant Delpit out of LSU. I feel like he is undoubtedly the best safety in this draft class, and I feel like if he goes on the Dallas defense, wow, you need to watch out because that secondary is definitely something to look out for. At number 18, it's the Dolphin pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I see this mocked a lot. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I'm going to agree with it here in this mock draft because I do feel like the reasoning for it makes a ton of sense. We're going to go Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. The Dolphins really do need that workhorse running back, and their leading rusher this year was Ryan Fitzpatrick. Come on, they definitely need that every down running back. Kenyon Drake wasn't going to be that guy. Jonathan Taylor can be that guy. So I do feel like they go with him at number 18. At number 19, it's the Raider pick from the Chicago Bears in the Khalil Mack trade. And I feel like they're going to go secondary here with Trevon Diggs out of Alabama. I feel like what better can you do than an Alabama corner in most situations? And I feel like he can really help them out there in the secondary after losing Gary and Conley to the Texans. This could really be a step in the right direction and a couple really good defensive prospects off the board to the Raiders in this first round. Then it's the Jacksonville Jaguars' second pick from the Jalen Ramsey trade, and I've got them going wide receiver T. Higgins here out of Clemson. I feel like getting Gardner Minshew, another weapon, could definitely be a thing that they might look to do. I could see them going another defensive prospect, maybe on the defensive line, maybe possibly trying to go offensive line as well, but I think T. Higgins is a sexy pick here, and I think that's one that they'll make. Then at 21, it's the Philadelphia Eagles, and there's no question that Carson Wentz had a mash unit on offense this season and didn't get anybody over 500 yards, and that's because everybody was always getting hurt, and they really didn't have, when all the young kids came in, they really didn't have that guy. So Arcega-Whiteside, he really wasn't it this year. Maybe he takes that step forward next year, but I feel like it's going to be wide receiver Henry Ruggs III out of Alabama coming off the board here to the Eagles to get that real threat and that guy that hopefully will stay on the field for them. At 22, it's the Bills, and I think they would have went receiver here if there was a really highly touted one on the board, but I feel like they're going to take best player available here and go with edge rusher Kalavin Chasen out of LSU. He is quite a monster, quite a beast, and definitely a guy that can help this Bills defense continue to be as good as it can be. It is definitely one of the weaker points on the Bills because their secondary is, of course, tremendous. Their linebacking core with Edmonds and the like is going to be great. And I feel like adding more to that defensive line could just make this one of the scariest defenses in the NFL. At number 23, the Patriots will come up after losing in the wild card round, which was incredible for me. But I feel like they're going to get a player that they can really mold into something wonderful in a linebacker, Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. This guy could really be a field general for them, and I really hope that he doesn't become that now if he ends up going there, but nonetheless, could be a really good pick for the Pats. At number 24, it's the Saints after losing their opening round playoff game at home as well. And I've got them taking wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. out of Colorado. It was clear in the wild card game that they needed somebody opposite Michael Thomas. no one really stepped up except for Taysom Hill, and that's not going to get you a Super Bowl. So Shenault could be that guy opposite Michael Thomas that could scare opposing defenses and maybe force the double team off of Michael Thomas. Number 25, we've got the Tennessee Titans. Now, mind you, all of the picks coming up now are just based off of record alone, not based off of winning, so this order could change in the next mock draft, obviously. But I'm going to go number 25 to the Titans, edge rusher Curtis Weaver out of Boise State. Me, when I'm not rooting for Rutgers football, which is painful, I root for Boise State football, which can also be painful because they'll never get a true shot at a championship. But Curtis Weaver is a player and definitely something that the Titans could use to continue to help out their defense and kind of keep a rotation going. And I feel like Curtis Weaver could really provide them a scary defensive line, and I feel like that's where they'll go here. The Vikings, I think it's pretty clear they need some offensive line help, and they will be ecstatic to find Jedrick Wills out of Alabama still on the board at offensive tackle, and I feel like that's where they're going to go. And they're going to end up screwing my boys, the Miami Dolphins, who will have the 27th pick from the Houston Texans, and they were looking at taking offensive tackle there, but they'll still do so as they take Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. I feel like both of those players can provide some good pass protection for their quarterbacks, and Tua's going to need it. So Tua gets a weapon at running back, he gets a offensive tackle, and I feel like this is a great first round for the Miami Dolphins. At number 28, it's the Seattle Seahawks. It's no secret their offensive line is pure trash for the most part. So I feel like they take the only guard in the first round off the board, and Tyler Biadasz? Can't really say that properly, but he's out of Wisconsin. Great blocker. Wisconsin offensive linemen always tend to work out somehow, so I feel like that is one of the safer, better picks that the Seahawks can go for. Then at 29, it would be the Chiefs, and I feel like they'll go running back Travis Etienne here. I think Etienne out of Clemson could really give them exactly what they would be looking for, a scat back for Pat Mahomes, and somebody he can throw the ball to, somebody who can run on a spread offense, somebody who can definitely provide Pat Mahomes with that extra layer that he would be looking for outside of Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Sammy Watkins. At number 30, it would be the Green Bay Packers, and I feel like they're going to need to get Aaron Rodgers another weapon, especially going into next year. He's had some of the worst weapons outside of Devontae Adams. I mean, Jimmy Graham is just aging and just not very good anymore. And Allen Lazard has been the breakout player this year. I mean, he needs something more, and I think wide receiver Justin Jefferson out of LSU can give him that, and I feel like it's a player that Aaron Rodgers would absolutely love. 49ers would be on the board at pick 31, of course, if you're projecting the Ravens to beat them in the Super Bowl, which they did in regular season. So 49ers sit on the board, and I feel like they're going to go running back DeAndre Swift. Now, hear me out. DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. I know that the Niners have run the ball really well this year with a committee of running backs, but I feel like they're going to end up maybe cutting Tevin Coleman to save some money because they are kind of going to be in cap hell. So I feel like he will be gone to save some money. I feel like they will not re-sign Matt Breida because he would command too much money. So that's two of that committee gone. That leaves Mostert. And I think that they would look, and Kyle Shanahan would look for in his offense, in his zone running scheme, somebody who could take the ball every down. And DeAndre Swift is that guy. So he would definitely be a perfect guy for the zone running scheme that they run in San Francisco, and I feel like he will be a 49er. The Baltimore Ravens would be last on the clock, just like they were when they selected Lamar Jackson, even though they traded back into the first round to do that. But again, with another pick 32 for the Baltimore Ravens. And with this one, Jimmy Smith's getting old. I feel like he's on his way out there. I don't think they re-sign him. So with Jimmy Smith on his way out, I feel like you replace him with C.J. Henderson out of Florida. Another really good corner that can definitely slot in there, make a ton of plays for you. Definitely fits this Baltimore Ravens defense to a T. That's my first round mock draft. I hope you guys did enjoy this mock draft. Let me know below, what picks do you agree with? What picks do you do not agree with? Did I mock a player that you want to see go to your favorite team Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this and on Madden and any other video games if you guys are into that kind of stuff. Any other football news, predictions, all that kind of stuff. Definitely subscribe for more of that. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy it, and I will see you all next time. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.
You're a pretty little star boy. Look what you've done.